Hi guys, this is Mr. Power. This is our first time trying this screencast. I'm actually in my basement right now. This is prior to my knee surgery, so I can't tell you how that's going or how that went. But I hope you guys are all doing well, and uh, bear with me. This is the first time we've ever done this, so there might be some starts and some stops as we go along, and so be forgiving, I guess. What we're going to do today is we're going to go through the introduction to photosynthesis. Let's do a quick little vocabulary. And photosynthesis basically means photo, which is light, and synthesis, which means to build. So, to build with light. And what are we building? Well, we are building glucose. So photosynthesis overview. So quick things: the process of converting light energy to chemical energy and storing it in the bonds of glucose. If you remember correctly, glucose is, right on here and see if I can get it, C6H12O6. So you ought to recognize that back with the biomolecules unit that we've already gone through. Photosynthesis occurs in plants and some algae. And main thing that it requires light energy, carbon dioxide, which is CO2, and water, H2O. Let's talk real quickly about the electromagnetic spectrum. Obviously, light is an important part of this. And so when we look at light, we can actually see that the electromagnetic spectrum is huge. And we can only see a very, very small little bit of that. Okay, that's what we call the visible light spectrum. The visible light spectrum is very, very small in the whole scheme of things. Some animals can actually see in the infrared. You guys probably recognize ultraviolet, X-rays. These down here on the far left are the gamma rays and the beta rays. These over here you might recognize radio waves. Okay, but really what we're going to focus on is we're just going to focus on that little sliver that we can see, which is the visible light spectrum. So, how much of this is just the visible light spectrum itself. So we can see here that we have visible light. We can see between the 400 nanometers to the 750 nanometer range. Anything beyond that side we really can't see. It does affect us. Infrared we also may know as heat. Ultraviolet is sent out by the sun, so it causes sunburns and things like that, but we really see only a very, very small portion. So from the sunlight from the sun. What I'd like you to do now, I want you to press pause and go to the biology Google Classroom that you've already been entered into, and I also want you then to take that to get you to the Get It account, which I also showed you how to get into, and take a quick assessment on just a little bit of stuff that we've just covered. So go ahead and do that and then come right back. Press pause. All right, we're back. So now let's get into some of the nitty-gritty, so to speak. Photosynthesis is found or is done within the organelle, if you remember that term from last chapter. Organelles are small little structures within the cell that have a specific function. If you remember chloroplasts, they deal with collecting solar light and converting it into energy and eventually into glucose. So the chloroplast, you can see there is a inner membrane. Okay, there's two membranes, the inner membrane and the outer membrane. Not a whole lot occurs really there. Really the one that we're really the most worried about is here, the thylakoid. That's where we're going to talk about mostly within this week. So there's also, you can see that there's a whole stack of these thylakoids all stacked up. We call that a granum. And then there's also just in this other area, the stroma. That's just basically water, keeping it nice and fluid, keeping it nice and hydrated. So some important parts of the chloroplast, the inner and outer membranes. Okay, and that's what they're made. They have two membranes. The thylakoid, this is where the first reaction of photosynthesis occurs, and like I said, this is really the most important. This is also where the chlorophyll is actually found that we see, and you guys saw back in last week when you guys were viewing the Elodia leaves and being able to see that. So the location of chlorophyll. Then we take granum. There's a whole stack of multiple thylakoids all stacked up onto each other. So lots of photosynthesis can occur as we go. So let's talk about chlorophyll real quick. Chlorophyll is the pigment that absorbs light energy. That's an important term, absorbs. That's why it's nice and bold. Why are plants green? Well, the reason why plants are green is because chlorophyll mainly absorbs red, orange, yellow, blue, indigo, and violet. Let's talk real quickly. I probably should have brought this up prior, but we'll go ahead and do it now. The visible spectrum is Roy G. Biv, and I know you guys have seen that before in my classes. But red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. So chlorophyll mainly absorbs red, orange, and yellow, and blue, indigo, and violet. Okay, but what it doesn't do is it doesn't absorb green. Okay, it actually reflects light back to the eye. So you can kind of see over here in this diagram, okay, that all of those wavelengths of light, all those colors of light are coming in, getting absorbed by the leaf, and mostly the green gets reflected back to the eye, and that's why we see plants as being green. So chlorophyll mainly reflects the majority of the green light back to our eye. Okay, three main types of chlorophyll. Chlorophyll A, chlorophyll B, and then carotenoids. Chlorophyll A, you can see over on the graph over there, it's mostly a blue-green color. The chlorophyll B is a bright green color, and so you can see that chlorophyll A and chlorophyll B are primarily what we see most of the times of the year, which causes green, the green leaves. But there is another, and there's actually others other than this, but the carotenoids as well. Carotenoids are there. They usually are kind of overpowered by the colorful, the green color of the chlorophyll. There's more chlorophyll A and chlorophyll B in a plant. But on at a special time of year, which is right about now, the carotenoids, those orange and yellow chlorophylls, they start to take over. So the carotenoids are there, and you can see there I underlined carrot. It's an easy way to remember carrots are orange. They have that color, so it's an easy way to be able to remember those. Let's keep moving. So the absorption and reflection of light. Let's talk real quickly about a couple of main points. It absorbs most of the red, orange, yellow, blue, indigo, violet light, and it reflects mostly at the green, and you can see that in this little graph. Okay, these are the things. Okay, this is the absorbance, so how much that the plant is absorbing. So you can see that over here towards the blue, it is mostly getting absorbed into the plant. The reds, not as much, okay, because of those carotenoids, but it is also higher in absorbance. They're getting absorbed by the plant. But you can see in this area right down here, okay, there's very little absorbance that occurs within that green range, and that's why we end up getting the color green off of those plants. So that's a little bit of some graph work there that you can be able to see. So here's where it really comes down to, and this is going to be really important. You guys need to know this. You need to know it front and back. Okay, I made sure that I stuck it on there. Know this equation. Okay, this isn't going to be the last time you see it. That is for sure. Okay, but if we look at it, this is a chemical equation, and off the left here, you can see this, and what we call the left side of this are the reactants. Okay, these are the things that are necessary for photosynthesis to occur. So you can see here we have 6 carbon dioxides. This ought to kind of go back to where you guys were last year. You guys learned how to balance equations in physical science. Okay, we need 6 waters. Okay, in order for that to occur. Okay, we also need light. Okay, there's our sun. And then over here on the right side we have our products. And you can see that we need C6H12O6. We just talked about that. The name of that is, I hope you remember, glucose. That's really the goal of photosynthesis, to make that glucose. And lastly, we have oxygen, okay, that's produced. It's a product that's produced. So 6 O2s, and what do plants do with this? It releases it as a waste product. And thank goodness, because if it wasn't, we'd have a tough time breathing. So that's kind of the roundup for this section. The very, very basics of photosynthesis, which is a chemical reaction. As again, remember, you need to know this equation, and you might as well get it written down and make sure that you have memorized it, because you will need it, and you'll need to know it frontwards and backwards, but we'll talk more about that in respiration. So, last time, stop, press pause again now, go to the Biology Google Classroom, get back on your Get It account, and you're going to take the second part of the quiz, okay? Just kind of, it's an assessment for your understanding, just to see where you guys are, gives me an idea of how you guys picked up on things and how you understood this quick little lecture. Hope you have a great day, and I hope that all is going well. And I hope to hear from you soon and be able to see you guys soon. Have a good one.